injured, and she gets saved by Bruce Willis's character Hardigan. But then in this one, it picks up after he kills himself. So it's like the love of her life is gone. She's devastated. She's an alcoholic. She's still dancing. She's not happy about it.
Not hardly.
Well, you know, she has costumes now.
Yeah.
To this very powerful warrior who takes her life in her own hands and you know, gets revenge.
Well,
You have to find a cadence, and the cadence doesn't come to you. I was saying this earlier when we were in Comic-Con, that it's the kind of movie that you really have to dive into. You can't really manipulate the movie. You can't manipulate Frank Miller's mind. It's impossible. Look at him.
many have tried.
Many have tried. You know, and the fact that Robert's the only one, you know, that has come and kind of broken, not the only one, but in the beginning broken Frank to trust him with a wonderful movie. So I was a big fan of the first movie, but this one is different. You know, it's one of those things that you're a fan of the first movie. I especially love Benizio's character, and he's got this thing sticking out of his forehead, and he's still talking throughout the whole thing, and there's an absurdity to it that I completely understand, which I don't really talk about until now, and now because I can use it, and hopefully you'll go see the movie if I talk about it, but that's one of those kind of shameful things where it's like, I understand this completely. So the opportunity to be able to do it was really unnerving, but when I watched it, it's one of the few movies that I've done where I thought, thank God I'm in this movie. I really feel proud to be in this movie. I think it's really, it's just next level. And everybody says that during press things. It's truly, I mean, I thought they've gone to the next place. I enjoyed it so much. It's very dark. It's a lot of fun. It's very sexy. You know? But yeah, it's one of those things that I would go and see a few times if I weren't in it. Because I'm in it, it would seem pretentious. So
I was very nervous with the scene when she's, after she tried to shoot Dwight, and she's talking with the cops, and she's lying, because she's a compulsive liar, as you've seen. So it's kind of the challenge in this film to still be believable and lie all the time, and so, yeah, to play all these different women that was the challenge, and she's so bad, so that was very kind of fun. You know, no conscience, no sense of right or wrong. She's pretty evil. Yeah.
It was a scene where they meet again after 4 years in a bar, and she is genuinely seems to be falling back in love with him. And he is doing his best to resist her, but he can't because she's got her own kind of superpowers, and also she's Ava. And after I saw that scene and I saw how they played it and how they moved across decades in a performance, I took them both aside individually to tell them that this was my favorite scene, the one I was most worried about, and they pulled it off perfectly, and I was stunned.
Where it said Frank Miller and Robert Rodriguez. I remember when the first one came out, going to the movie theater and saying to myself, I've never seen.
Through my friendship with Jim, and we'd seen each other over the years and said we have to work together someday. And when it came time for Sin City, we met with her. There she was.
You didn't think it was right for Nancy because she was so sweet.
Yeah, it was hard to find
innocent.
anyone to be like the Nancy in the book. If you look at the Nancy, trying to be one-to-one with what the book was, that was the character I just could not figure out. And
I auditioned.
but I knew I liked you, and I wanted to work with you, so I went, you know what, you're just going to have to create a Nancy, because the one in the book it's kind of I mean, if you see the book, you'll know what I mean. You created something that even inspired Frank to write this next story for you. That's why it wasn't even in the book. You created almost something new with it.
And the visual effects and the music and everything else, and you know, movies traditionally, because they're such mammoth tasks, they kind of have to get divided up, and that can sometimes be interruptive to one individual's voice coming through. but the way that Robert does it, it's so him. It's, you know, he manages to approach in the medium of filmmaking what an artist like Frank Miller is able to do by himself, sitting, you know, with just his own tools, you know, writing and drawing. And I really admire that. Found it enormously inspiring.
Don't forget to visit us online on galatview.com. Click like on YouTube page.